Hello my friends and welcome back to Ration Nerd. Today we are going to get into a ration from Kazakhstan. This is a civilian ration, Camp MRE and rations. I saw this on eBay and I just had to. It looked weird. It was in a cool bag. It comes from Kazakhstan, so there very well could be some horsies in here. We would absolutely love that because horse meat is actually pretty banging. And if you like it banging, you know what you could do for this guy right here? You could hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and talk to me in the chat. It's always a great time to hear from you guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. I am your resident asshat, and I will be going through and having fun with rations. That's what this channel is all about. We have fun, we eat rations, we goof around, and we just have a really good goddamn time with it. So if you're here for that strictly informational experience, maybe you just turn the sound down and watch it. If you're here to have a couple of laughs, maybe I can get a couple of those in for you. If you're just here to see a cool ration that I've never seen online before, that's where we're at right here. This thing is menu number 3. The bag is really cool looking. I like it. I have not translated this yet because I want to be surprised as to what I get into. I am hoping there are some cooler items in this than a standard Kazakh military ration, but we shall certainly find out. And I really do like the fact that this says CBOUHAPODU. It's almost like they knew that the asshat was going to be reviewing this ration, so it is what it is. And it's supposedly gourmet. We will certainly put that shit to the test. And if you're new here and you don't know, if you join me on Patreon, you will have a chance to win a free ration every month. That's what I roll with on Patreon. It is like a ration raffle ticket. For $5 a month, you essentially get entered into a ration giveaway. Every month I give away a ration. This month I'm giving away this Swedish single meal ration, and that is going to Pete Salzman. Absolutely, brother. This one's going to be coming your way. I will message you on Patreon, and then we'll get this ration out to you so you can enjoy some Swedish goodness. Join me on Patreon if you want a chance to win a free ration. So let's get into this thing. I'm really interested. I'm really hoping this isn't just military components repackaged in a civilian pack. I was hoping for something a little bit more interesting. Rations from Kazakhstan are really cool. I've done at least one of them before on this channel, and I have another one sitting over there on the ration shelf that's just waiting to be reviewed. But we're going to crack into this one. Hopefully there is coffee and cream. This does feels like a Ziploc, and it is heat sealed on top. It also has a tear notch. Let's put that to the test. That was absolutely clean like a whistle. That was sexy. So let's see what you get if you're camping, hiking, surviving in Kazakhstan. So what do we got here? Oh, hey, look at that. That is certainly different than a normal ration from Kazakhstan. We have 3 flameless ration heaters, and those feel pretty damn beefy. So that's awesome right off the bat. No Esbit tablet action for this guy. 3 flameless ration heaters to heat up your meals. That is a good time. And we have a big old accessory kit. We'll get into this guy at the end. Look at that. That is interesting. That's nice and hard. That looks like a Rice Crisp, like rice cakes. They feel like there's at least 2 or 3 of them in there. That's really interesting. Take a look at those guys right there. Little bicycling activity going on the front of that package. And we have another pack of those rice cakes. How many of those we get? We get 3 packs of rice cakes. I wonder if these are actually rice cakes or I'm just screwing the pooch. But these actually translate to wheat crisp bread. So these are probably like the Czech rations and the Polish rations where they have that real thin styrofoam-like crisp bread. It does look like a rice cake on that little bicycling wheel there, if you can check that out. But we have 3 packs of crisp bread. Something was a little sticky, something was a little gooey. That that never makes for a comfortable ration experience. Hopefully that's just from the shipping and packaging process. Check that out. Even in English, chicken pilaf. So we have 350 grams of chicken pilaf in this slightly dirty, ever so tacky package. I really hope everybody survived their journey from Kazakhstan to here, but one never knows the wonders of shipping where they're kicking everything around. It's totally fun. And another mildly sticky package, Rutro Rorge. This is pearl barley porridge with beef. Very interesting that they have it on here in English as well. And last but not least, we have 400 grams of pea soup. Not really sure how I feel about that. Pea soup puree. I'm honestly not sure how I feel about that. I actually kind of like pea soup, but a puree? I don't know. But the retort packages are nice and thick. They are very cool looking. Obviously, somebody put some effort into this ration. So there we have all of our mains, and that is unfortunately everything out of the bag. So we'll get that the hell out of the way, and we'll start cracking into this accessory kit over here. See what you get in this relatively large and in charge accessory kit. So we get 3 sets of flatware. Let's see what's in those guys. Oh, now you're singing my fucking song right here. We have a really small napkin. We also have a pack of coffee. God damn it, I need this coffee. I'm telling you what, there's been a lot of editing going on because I got rented lips as usual. So it seems like each one of these packs comes with a pack of coffee and a toothpick, which is really cool, keeping your twofers free of debris. And we have a pack of salt, a pack of pepper, coffee creamer, hells yes, and a pack of sugar, absolutely excellent. And we have a pretty damn decent ration spoon. This is the exact same spoon that comes in a Russian Sturm ration or Storm ration that's used for civil emergencies, etc., maybe for military, probably more for Russian civilian or civil use. But this is a pretty damn decent ration spoon. Not too deep, not too wide. It's relatively flexible, not too shabby. So I would imagine, yes, each one of these has a coffee in it, coffee for every meal, which is absolutely fucking amazing. And we have this thing. What is this thing? That is some kind of weird gel thing? That's very interesting. Take a look at that thing. I'm not really sure what it is. It's a little dense. It's got some weight to it. Now, this very well may be what is listed on the content sheet as a national Kurt. K-U-R-T. Maybe it's a candy. It's supposed to be 10 grams. It feels about 10 grams. We're going to have to go gently with this. I have absolutely no clue what it is. It looks like a piece of candy to me. It could be a fucking fuel tab for all I know. I'm going to take a bite into it and just want to like spit fire. That's kind of cool though. Hoping that is a candy. And then we have these things, which I have tried to translate every which way but Sunday. The translator just will not translate it with this package being all crinkled. The best thing I can find, these are some kind of candy milk balls. Maybe just a milk ball. There is definitely milk in here. I've seen the word goat on here a couple times. That's kind of weird. I've also seen salt and I've also seen protein contents. This is definitely some kind of dairy product. For the life of me, I can't figure out what it is. It does say Kurt, so I'm thinking maybe it's some kind of like milk candy, which sounds pretty damn amazing. Maybe these are supposed to go in the coffee, although you do have the creamer for the coffee. Not really sure. This is a really cool, neat cultural item, and it's one of the reasons why I continue to do this hobby and pick up crazy rations like this, because you never know what you're going to find, and where the hell else am I going to find these milky balls of goodness over here in the United States? Probably nowhere, but it looks like we have 6 milk candies of some sort, question mark. Then we have 3 wet wipes, because even in Kazakhstan, keeping your dick beaters clean is a really good idea. Then we have 3 Champion Gold Kenya Sunset tea bags. That actually sounds pretty damn good. It's really cold out here in Ration Nerd land today, so some tea might even be welcome just because it's one more warm thing to put down my neck. Then we have that obligatory pack of apple jam. What am I talking about? This isn't a Russian ration, but in case you're not aware, Kazakhstan and Russia are really close together, thus the language and some of the shared items. So we have some apple jam. I'm sure that's going to be like the same apple jam I've ever had in every other Russian military ration. That's okay though, it's not too shabby. And then we have 3 sticks that are full of honey, and they have cute little cartoon bees on them, which I will do my best to bring up to the camera so you guys can check out all the bee cartoon goodness you can possibly soak your eyeballs into. But we do have 3 packs of honey, and those happen to coordinate with these 3 bags of tea we have over here. Well, my crazy friends, this is everything contained in a 24-hour civilian Kazakhstan ration. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm still pretty sketchy about the sticky, possibly weird substances on the outside of these bags, but I will go decide exactly what we're having for breakfast, and then I'll see you right back here. All right, everybody, welcome back to breakfast. I have absolutely decided to torture myself this morning by starting my day off absolutely right with 400 grams of pea soup puree, which I am absolutely positive is going to make my ass kind of soupy and gassy. It ought to be a hell of an experience. We're going to do it together. So we've got that pea soup. We've got some wheat crisp bread, some apple jam because there is no other fruit. We have that coffee, cream, and sugar, and we have that tea with honey. My only gripe with this ration thus far is a little bit on the lack of component side. This is kind of very minimal breakfast, although it is going to be very filling. If I can manage to put 400 grams of pea soup down, the jury is still out on that. We'll have to take it step by step. But first things first, we got to get this main heating up. So we are definitely going to give these flameless ration heaters a try. Now that heating element has slid to the opposite end of the bag. Let's get this thing open. Oh man. Let's get this open. Let's check out that heating element. That's rather large and in charge. Very thick, very heavy. Hopefully it will do well. I'm actually going to stand that heating element up vertical in here because this is not going to fit in there sideways. It's just a bit too wide and I don't feel like having to play Jenga just to get my meal in the bag. So we are going to set this appropriately inside of the sack. And oddly enough, on this bag, it does show you using a sachet of pre-provided water, which was not included in this. And it's looking like it needs 200 mils. So we're going to get 200 mils of water, stick it in this FRH, which does not have a gusseted bottom, which is just fine. And there's 100 mils and 200. And because I'm not totally trying to shit on myself, I'm going to add just a wee bit of salt to that FRH because pea soup is always best consumed warm. So I'm going to give it a little bit of salt to hopefully help that exothermic process rock right along in that FRH. Now we'll get this sucker folded up. And this is asking for 15 minutes of time to heat that soup up. I can already hear that heater boiling away in there. Nice exothermic reaction. Ooh, looks like I'm a little late to the party. The sticker is not working properly before I burn my digis. Woo! Ooh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That is activity right there. I was not ready for that. That was pretty instantaneous, all things considered. About 15 seconds and that thing was roaring. And we'll get some of that really nice chemical steam all over our ration spoon collection. That's totally yummy. And now it is absolutely 100% fucking coffee time because I absolutely need it. If you guys knew how many edits it takes to get through the morning part of this review because I haven't had my coffee yet, you'd completely understand why I am so fucking excited. But this looks to be the same coffee manufacturer that you find in Russian rations, which I am very excited about. So let's check this out. Coffee time. And that is a decent looking freeze-dried crystal right there. Feast your eyes on that. Oh, it smells like a nice freeze-dried coffee as well. All the little bits of coffee yumminess, please. And I'm not even going to bother. I'm going to go for that creamer because in case you were wondering, there is a trifecta of things that are necessary to have a great cup of coffee in the morning. And that would be the 3 ingredients that make life go round. That is the coffee, the cream, and the sugar. That is the trifecta. You need the coffee, you need the cream, and you need the sugar to make a really goddamn good cup of coffee. And now that we're absolutely making a mess, let's get that tea and that honey rocking along so we can have a little tea. And let's give that a sniff before we just chuck it in the glass. That is a really excellent, strong smelling black tea. That smells absolutely yummy. I'm not a huge fan of hot tea, but hey, that smells really good. And the honey. This ought to be very interesting to get in there. We'll make a mess with that after we get the hot water in. Nice hot water, making my coffee life possible. And of course, the tag went right down inside of there, so I gotta burn my digis to get it out. That immediately took to the water. That is bleeding out nicely. I have to say, I was a little skeptical about this flameless ration heater needing 200 mils of water, but that FRH pad is pushing out of the side of the package, which is amazing. It is still steaming even after this point. Usually, they get real violent and puff up the bag, and then a whole shitload of steam comes out, and then they kind of calm down. This one is still putting out a really nice amount of steam. That ought to make for a really nice hot 400 grams of pea soup. Why do I do this to myself? Mainly because I didn't really want to have pea soup for lunch or dinner, so I figured I would just suffer through it during the breakfast meal. So let's stir up this coffee and see what kind of coffee Kazakhstan has got for me today. What time is it? It's fucking coffee time. You know I haven't had it. You know I need it. I need to knock out these rented lips. Let's get a sip, a sniff, and a taste of some coffee with cream and sugar. That actually has a nice, strong coffee smell. Let's give it a sip. Oh, that coffee is nice and strong. Even with that 4-gram package of sugar that went in there, that coffee actually could use some more sugar. It's nice and strong. It's a little bit creamy. It certainly turned the color of the coffee. The creamer is not amazing. The sugar, well, there could be more of it, but that is a really decent cup of coffee. Really nice, rich, and nutty flavor. A lot like the Russian freeze-dried coffee, which is made by the same exact manufacturer that apparently puts the coffee in this ration. This coffee is absolutely acceptable, yummy, and could use a little bit more cream and sugar, but you know what? I'm not bitching. It is actually really good. If this was the coffee you were going to feed me for the rest of my life, I wouldn't complain too much. This is actually really good. And it didn't stand a chance. That coffee is actually really yummy. It could use an extra pack of cream and an extra pack of sugar, but otherwise, that is a really yummy cup of coffee. If you're not really into cream and sugar, that coffee would be absolutely excellent. You would not be disappointed. If you're a coffee drinker, let's get this tea hooked up. We're going to let it steep for a bit, but I've got to get this honey out of the package and into the tea, because we are definitely going to need something else to drink to wash down a hell of a lot of pea soup. So let's get some advanced tools out here. Oh, that does have a nice little perforated tear up there. Oh, that ripped open pretty horribly. As you can see, that honey is nice and crystallized. That is okay, because it usually means it's real honey and not fake. So that is actually some pretty, decent looking crystallized honey in that sachet there for you. I don't know why I have a hard on for the word sachet recently, but it's been coming out of my mouth a lot. See if we can't scrape all of the bee vomit out of this little package. And yes, if you didn't know, honey is actually bee vomit. So if you love honey, you absolutely love bee vomit, because that's what we're all about here on Ration Nerd, is education. Obviously, as you can tell if you've watched any of the videos, this channel is obviously for education purposes. It's not at all for the entertainment of the masses, just simply being a goofball and having fun eating rations. We're all about education here on Ration Nerd. I'm looking for a government grant to come my way, but yeah, they never returned that letter that I sent to them, so I'm not holding my breath. But to Uncle Sam, if you're watching, you know, some grant money would be nice. Since we are on a hydration fest and we're getting some drinks down our throat, let's try this tea with that honey. Now, I'm no tea aficionado, but that tea is actually a really nice, high-quality black tea. Low tannin levels, very pronounced, strong black tea flavor. The honey just kind of disappeared in it. It almost didn't give that tea any sweetness whatsoever. That may be why I feel like the tannin levels are lower, because there's honey in it now. However, you really couldn't tell. If I handed you this and you took a sip of it and I told you there was honey in it, you might not believe me. That is one thing I can say. Out of the last ration from Kazakhstan that I had, the tea was absolutely epic. Let's check out this crisp bread and see if we can get a little apple jam and crisp bread together while that soup is heating up. Now that is very, very interesting. That is almost like a puffed wheat, not rice. Apparently it is just puffed wheat, a lot like, I believe, like Sugar Smacks or Golden Smacks or something like that, or Golden Grams. I don't know what the hell it is over here in the United States. It is a puffed wheat cereal. That is very much what that reminds me of, is a puffed wheat cereal made into a big round disc. It's very light, kind of hard, soft to break. It is very much like a rice cake. If you had one of those, you would know exactly what this is like. Let's get a bite of that all by itself, and let's bring it up there so you can see the texture and cross section of that bad boy. Not really sure how interesting this is going to be without great toppings. It seems like in soup it would just kind of dissolve away into nothing, but let's try that all by its lonesome. And that is not very interesting. That is light, fluffy. It's like chewing on a piece of styrofoam. When the moisture from your mouth hits it, it absorbs a lot of the moisture and it just kind of almost dissolves away into nothing. But let's give it its day in court with some of this apple jam. I have a feeling it's just pretty much going to taste like mildly crunchy apple jam, because these cakes, or whatever you want to call them, these biscuits, cakes, it does have a nice puffed wheat flavor. If you're at all familiar with any kind of puffed wheat cereal, you know exactly what we're dealing with here. We are going to put a nice small hole in the corner so we can squirt some apple jam out instead of just dump it all over the tray. And that, even though this is a ration from Kazakhstan, that is some classic Russian apple jelly there, or apple jam. And we have just enough apple jam for about 1 1/4 of these crispy crackers, wafers, whatever you want to call them. Let's try that with some apple jam on there. I have a feeling it's going to be a sweet affair. You can see the granular nature of that apple jam, which is actually really nice. Let's throw that in the face and quit blabbering about it. And honestly, I don't like these as biscuit or cracker replacements or bread replacements. I like your standard like Polish and Czech crisp breads way more than I like this. It really just tastes like plain cereal. With the apple jam on here, it's a bit more interesting, but the sweetness and the flavor of that jam is just consumed by that puffed wheat flavor. You'd probably have to put 3 times as much jam as I have on this little piece for it to be a pronounced flavor while you're mashing this up in your face. Don't get me wrong. Coming in at over 3,000 calories, this is a good day's worth of food. And if you're really hungry, you'll put these down without a second thought. But there is something to be said about actually enjoying what you're having. I would have preferred like your standard Russian crackers other than these things. They at least have a lot more texture, and they allow the apple jam to actually be tasted when you're having the apple jam with the cracker. Oh, and there's the last one of those with any apple jam on it. I can't say I'm really excited to eat it. I am sad to see the apple jam go though, because those things are really plain and pretty damn boring otherwise. All right, we have definitely waited the prescribed amount of time and my sentencing is complete. I mean, breakfast is served. Pea soup for breakfast. I don't know what the hell inspired me to do this, but we're doing it. It has been about 15 minutes. This pea soup has been roaring along in that flameless ration heater, and it is hot as hell. Now, as far as items that were heated up in a flameless ration heater goes, that was about 15 minutes, probably a little less, and actually, this pouch is really too hot to hold. That is great. For an FRH, that thing did really well. Kind of spooky that it's this hot. It's just as hot as if I would have boiled it over the stove, or at least it feels like it. So let's see what this pea soup is all about. That does not smell very appetizing. Let's let you guys take the first look at that. This looks amazing. It looks like it was made with yellow peas. Let's get this 400 grams of pea goodness, puree out onto the tray. Something like this with a complete lack of texture really needed a much more firm. Oh shit, wait a minute. All the grams, please. Fuck. All the grams of pea soup. That looks like baby food, not very appetizing. It doesn't have a great smell either, so there's really not a whole lot to go through here. There's definitely some carrots in there. Looks like there's some pepper or other seasonings floating around in there, and obviously smashed and pureed peas. There's nothing else for it. Let's just go ahead and bring this up to you so you can see what the peas look like. I'm going to put in my face for breakfast. What in the fuck was I thinking? Let's just go ahead and get a bite. I was really hoping that I would be pleasantly surprised by this, and I'm not. It is very bland, a little bit granular, almost if it was made with dried peas, and some of them didn't hydrate properly. Definitely has a weird granular texture. Let's go in for another bite, because Lord knows I need 400 grams of peas to get my butt going in the morning. I mean, on a cold morning, it could be great, I suppose. If you really liked pea puree, which I'm not a big fan of, I would have just preferred a big container of just peas. I would have eaten that with a little bit more gusto than this. We're going to go ahead and put all the salt in there because we need as much seasoning as we can possibly get. And we're definitely throwing all the pepper in there. Nice even distribution. And we'll get this stirred up. I mean, this could use so many other things. Some flavoring, some hot sauce, something crunchy that's not going to turn into mush when you put it in the pea soup. Some stewed beef would have been nice to mix with this. Anything to break up the monotony. The one thing I can say is this is a good bit of calories in here, and you can eat it very quickly. 400 grams of pea puree is certainly going to fill the belly. Are you going to be happy about it though? That is certainly the question we're going to ask. Now that we have that salt and pepper all mixed up in here, let's go ahead and get another bite of that and see if it's save the day. I highly doubt it. This is really plain. It just tastes like yellow peas. So let's get another bite. And with all that salt and pepper in there, it barely did anything to the flavor. It's like I would need another pack of pepper and another pack of salt to even begin to touch it. This pea puree just ate that salt and pepper, like literally devoured it. It's almost like I didn't put salt and pepper in it. It tastes almost exactly the same as it did when I had my first bite. Oh man. I'm going to tell you what, this breakfast is absolutely going to be a labor of love of the hobby. This is one of the most bland, boring, and relatively shitty mains I've ever had for breakfast. I would have just preferred some regular biscuits and jam. Coffee and tea would have been amazing. I am glad I'm doing this in the morning though, because I quite honestly would not want to have this for lunch or for dinner. And although this disc of puffed wheat does give it a little bit of texture, at least momentarily, this is like two really bland things colliding, like two pieces of white toast with nothing in the middle. It is relatively bland, very flavorless, not very interesting. Honestly, I think I've said enough about the soup, or this pea puree, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm just going to see if I can finish it. So I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes when I get closer to the bottom of the tray. I don't know. I'm just going to work it out, guys. You know, the worst part is when I run out of these, I'm probably not going to want any more of this. That's kind of shitty. I guess I could like get another pack of them and just go at the soup with 2 packs of these instead of 1. I don't know. That seems like a bad idea, because then what am I going to do for lunch and dinner? You know, I might be upset, feeling like I wasted these, or I wasted the apple jam on these, but there's nothing else in the ration I could have put the apple jam on, so I guess it wasn't a waste. These things are just kind of a waste of space in this ration. They're really light. Yeah, they have some calories in them, but they are not very enjoyable. I don't know, guys. I don't know. 400 grams of bland baby food for breakfast. I don't know if I can do it. Oh, I'm definitely going to be ill. This is a bit rough. Oh, my friends, this is the last bite of that. Hopefully, I never have to put that in this face hole ever again, but you never know. I certainly feel like I need somebody to change my diaper at this point, and depending on the rate that this runs through the old Ration Nerd, that might be an absolute necessity. But here it is, coming up to you, the last bite of that pea pudding, whatever the hell you want to call this stuff. It's just not great. I really wish I could share with you guys, because then you would know that I'm not telling you any lies. This is really bland, was absolutely boring, and doesn't belong anywhere near a ration, unless you're trying to give it to somebody that you really just don't like. And this is a fuck your pea pudding spoon drop. Oh, I definitely need something to wash that down, although I feel like my back teeth are floating in pea pudding. Oh, so nasty. Anyway, that was breakfast. Not off to a great start. Coffee and tea were absolutely fabulous. This pea pudding, not the best in any way, shape, or form. Glad I got it out of the way as the first meal of the day. Hopefully everything gets better for lunch and dinner, so I will see you guys in about 4 hours. I'm going to need some time for that to digest. I'll see you in a bit. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to lunch. We've got everything rolling along here. I'm not exactly really happy about this ration, but we're going to keep on forging ahead, and in that spirit, we're going to talk a little bit about Kazakhstan in case you don't know where it is. There are a lot of people that would absolutely have zero reason to know where or why Kazakhstan even is. So Kazakhstan is right over here if you take a look at that little map, and just for a tiny little lesson, Kazakhstan is a Central Asian country and a former Soviet republic. It extends from the Caspian Sea to the west to the Altai Mountains in its eastern border with China and Russia, and its largest metropolis, Almaty, Almaty, is a long-standing trading hub whose landmarks include the eccentric cathedral, a Tsarist-era Russian Orthodox Church, and the Central State Museum of Kazakhstan, displaying thousands of Kazakh artifacts. And there's about 20 or over 20 million people in Kazakhstan. Pretty amazing. I figure with 20 million people, y'all would come up with a better ration, but who am I? I'm just a goofball over here in the United States. This thing does have 3,000 calories in it, so I'm kind of shitting on it. However, breakfast was not exactly a ruckus good time. It was really plain, really boring, left me very full and completely unsatisfied, and extraordinarily gassy. We'll keep getting into that. I am just hitting that point where gas is actually starting to escape orifices, but it has been slowly building inside of my body, and I'm still just a little uncomfortable from it. But we're going to keep on going anyway, because that's what we do. 400 grams of pea pudding is not the best idea for breakfast, just in case you were wondering. But what are we having for lunch? You know, we're having that beef kasha is essentially what it is. It has been in this roaring flameless ration heater for about 15 minutes before I even hit record on the camera, so this thing should be nice and hot. And for me, this is like adding insult to injury. This is pearl barley porridge with beef, or beef kasha. Barley gives me a lot of gas. If you don't eat barley on a regular basis and you reintroduce it to your intestinal tract, let's say a couple times a month like I do eating rations, whew, it's a really good time. I really feel bad for my significant other, Mrs. Ration Nerd. If you're watching, and she always watches my videos because she's a gem like that, I'm really sorry about the gas that you and I are about to receive. So let's roll. Let's roll into this. It is nice and hot. 300 grams of pearl barley porridge with beef, or beef kasha. Let's get a good look at that. Take a look at that inside of the bag. Not looking too shabby. Let's get a big old sniff. And that does not smell great. It smells very plain. It smells more like a bag of wet barley than it does anything else. Here's hoping. Well, one thing I can say, it did not clump together. Ooh, nice oily fat content. Man, they really need to learn what seasonings are over here in Kazakhstan, at least from my little perspective here. That is a decent sized portion of food. Nice high fat content. Just a little bit of beef hanging out in there. And we'll open up that accessory kit. I probably should have did the drinks first, but I'm a little out of sorts. So we have our spoon. It is very likely going to be identical contents in here. So we've got our coffee. We've got our cream and sugar, salt and pepper, toothpick, and a little baby napkin that we didn't even really use from last time, so we got the double up. And we'll get them really shitty biscuits, wafers, things out on the tray. I'm really unhappy with these guys. They're just plain, and they're not like a traditional crisp bread. Maybe they are somebody's traditional crisp bread. Not mine. It's kind of like having rice cakes with your lunch, which is kind of boring. And we're going to fly through these drinks real quick. That way I can have something to sip on while we're having some lunch together. Aren't you glad you joined me? Because now I get to sing to you the whole time. And that's what you guys are really here for. It's not about the rations. It's all about my fucking singing voice. Oh, yeah. A little bit of that cream and sugar. The trifecta, in case you don't know. And we got that tea, which I'm actually pretty excited about. The coffee and the tea are really good. I just wish they had a cold drink mix in this ration. I know lots of people will say, well, you should just drink water. I understand. I get it. But when you're talking about a soldier, getting them to hydrate is extraordinarily important. Hell, it's important for you to hydrate. So sometimes making water taste less like water makes people drink more, which is a really good idea. A hydrated soldier will do much better than a dehydrated soldier. That's just facts. And we'll have to fight this honey out of the package. That's a lot of fun. Hydration inbound. And that tea is definitely going to need some time to steep, and the honey time to melt, and that coffee needs a little swizz. All right, and I'm really hoping this is a little candy jelly roll and not like a fuel tablet. I'm sure it's a candy jelly roll, but it would be pretty goddamn funny if I took a big old bite of like a fruit-scented fuel tablet. I would laugh. So let's see this thing here. This looks like a big fruit roll, which kind of excited about. This is neat. It's been pierced in the center prior to my arrival. That's kind of scary. It really looks like it was rolled around a spindle. It's kind of like a Kazakh fruit roll-up. It's kind of cool. Pretty neat. Let's see if we can unpeel it here for a second. Oh, snap. You got fruit roll-ups in Kazakhstan. Check that out. So this is essentially just a fruit leather. It's nice and sticky. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. That's actually really neat. I'm hoping this is fruit leather. If it's not, I'm going to be seriously sad. Let's give that a sniff. Damn it, that smells like old grandma. That does not smell like fruit. That literally smells like dirty grandma. I don't know why anything that looks like a fucking fruit roll would smell like grandma. Oh God, I don't know what fruit that's made out of. We'll get back to that. We're not fucking with that yet. I'm not ready for chewy grandma. It's just not happening. I need to get a sip of this coffee because coffee is the bean of the gods. If you're not drinking it, you really ought to. And if you're not drinking it, you're probably a fucking space alien, and I don't know why you're watching my channel anyway. Coffee, it's what's for lunch. All right, let's crack into this kasha. So we have a lot of pearled barley in here, which is actually really healthy looking. We have some carrots. We have a really healthy fat content swimming around here in the corner, which is nice. Carrots going on in here. I don't see any seasonings really poking their head out at me, but we just have carrots, barley, and we have some pretty healthy pieces of beef. They're not bad looking. They actually look like they were roasted prior to the canning process, which is kind of nice, or the retort pouch process. Basically just canning in a bag. So there's not much for it. Let's go ahead and tuck into this. Let's get a big old mouthful. Let's just go for the barley and the carrots first up. Let's bring that up to you guys so you can get a good look at that barley and carrots. Let's throw that back in this face hole and pass judgment. And that is absolutely 100% unseasoned barley and carrots that were cooked with beef. That couldn't be any more boring. If you paid it to be more boring, that's a real shame. Really is. Let's go for a piece of the beef. Add that in, although I'm not expecting a big shock when we add that piece of beef in there. Just so you can get a little, oh shit, god damn it, that went on my face. Just so you can get a little meat close-up action. I have to fetch some of that out of my beard. That was awesome. In the face. Okay, one thing I will say, one absolutely positive about this dish is that beef tastes so great. Completely unseasoned, mind you, but it's very, very natural tasting. I have actually struggled to find beef this good here in the United States, and I had to go to a farmer and get a half a cow to do it. This beef reminds me of that beef that I got here. Very clean, very yummy, absolutely savory. The only downside is there's very little of it in here, but every bite of that is going to be absolutely yummy. That was great. It was really tender, no gristle to be had anywhere. That was amazing. The high fat content in this is very, very reminiscent of all the Russian dishes I've ever had. Leaves you with that like waxy, like Vaseline, greasy mouthfeel. That's not great, but we're going to go ahead and salt and pepper the shit out of it. Try to get the maximum amount of flavor added to this. Not sure why they just have something against seasoning, I think, because this is really just barley, carrots, and beef, completely unseasoned, in a retort pouch, and that is a damn shame. Thank goodness they gave me some salt and pepper, because eating this absolutely plain would have completely sucked. But not to fear, we got Grandma Fruit Roll for the follow-up. That ought to be absolutely great. I mean, that thing really does smell like dirty grandma, and it's kind of freaking me out. I'm not really sure I want to take a bite of it. I was pretty excited about it until I smelled it. So if you're like Waffles and you're out there with a bucket list, like I want to eat one ration from every country of every style, maybe put this on your bucket list. But if you're not trying to spend a ton of money eating every ration on the planet and you were okay to miss a couple, this is certainly one you'd probably want to say, nah, I'm not getting that. It's a real shame. The packaging on this was pretty decent. I mean, the outer bag, all the inner retort pouches are nice and stout and sturdy. I did do an inspection on all the retort pouches to make sure whatever like greasy goop was on the outside was maybe just part of the packaging process. Nothing in here appears to have leaked. None of the retort pouches leaked. This actually just tastes extraordinarily plain. It doesn't taste bad or nasty in any way. If it was cooked with some more seasoning, it would probably be pretty goddamn awesome. This barley has a little bit of bounce and texture to it, so it really individuates it, so it has a little bit of texture, which is really nice. It is just so bland. The beef is absolutely the rock star of this dish, and at 300 grams with all this fat, it'll certainly fill you up. It'll give you a lot of energy, but getting it down is the problem if it doesn't taste great. And this is really bland and really boring. Let's see if that salt and pepper did anything to help this out. The salt and pepper absolutely help. They help to bring some of the flavors of the barley and the carrots out, but to be honest, it just tastes like it was seasoned with salt and pepper. That is the big bummer about this meal. Otherwise, the texture is actually really yummy, not too soft and smushy. If they would have actually seasoned this, it would be absolutely excellent. But whatever you do, eat it fast. And like I was saying about that fat content, this is best eaten when it is hot, because as it loses temperature, that greasy Vaseline mouthfeel just gets worse. If I were to get another one of these and I was eating it off camera, what I would do is I would definitely add that to my mess cup, because the act of frying this in its own fat would give it just a little bit of flavor, maybe even a little bit of burn on it, which could help to increase the flavor. If you didn't have anything cool like this little seasoning barrel with you to try to jazz up your food and you just had the salt and pepper, at the very least you could cook the salt and pepper in your mess cup with the dish and help to bring out some more of the flavor and add a little bit of burn to it. And I think some of this fat would be reabsorbed as you started to really heat it up and really like kind of fry it inside of your mess cup. Your mess cup would be an absolute mess, but I think it would be a total win for this meal. I gotta get me another one of those pieces of beef. I'm kind of trying to save them just to like give me something interesting to do, but there's only like 4 or 5 pieces in here, so down the hatch. Honestly, if there was enough beef in this main to have a bit of beef with every bite, it would make up for the fact that it was so plain, because the beef is very, very vibrant in flavor. If you've had natural grass-fed beef before that actually came from a farmer and not out of your grocery store, you'll probably know what I'm talking about when I say it tastes so clean and the flavor is extraordinarily vibrant. All that stuff you're picking out of the grocery store, even if you're spending $30 for a T-bone steak, Lord knows how long it's been sitting in that grocery case, it just doesn't taste like this. This is absolutely a really great example of what beef should taste like, so I absolutely can say that. The dinner main has chicken in it. I wonder if that's going to be like what chicken should taste like. Very likely. All of our food here in the United States, it's been uber processed, been sitting in a store for way too long, pumping it full of chemicals to try to keep it alive and maybe adding some dye to it so it doesn't turn gray. That's really sad, but it is what it is. You know, with the salt and pepper, this is actually growing on me a bit. I think it's the texture of the barley. It almost seems like it's fresh cooked. I know that sounds weird. It's been sitting in a retort pouch for, I don't know, who the hell knows how long. But the texture really makes you feel like this was just cooked like from fresh barley. That's actually really, really yummy. And people often say that my videos are too long, but I do things a little differently. You're here with me for the entire meal. Everything that falls out of my mouth while I'm eating this food, I mean, word-wise, you get to hear about it. So when things change in taste or texture as they lose temperature, I tell you exactly how that is. And honestly, that's kind of an important part of any meal. If something has to be like roaring, boiling hot in order for it to be good, it's going to take you an exceptionally long time to eat it. And how in the hell are you going to keep something like a ration item boiling hot unless you had a campfire and a mess cup? That certainly would be one way to do it, but it's not the intended use of this ration. That's why they give you the flameless ration heaters. So just be aware, some of these dishes are best pretty much just inhaled. Like, you just got to eat it as fast as you possibly can to get the maximum enjoyment out of it, because this thing is starting to get a little bit of that weird greasy feeling as I'm getting further and further towards the end of it. That beef is absolutely excellent. That just completely makes this dish. If it wasn't for the beef, this would be a worthless sack of food that you would only eat out of desperation. With the beef added and a little bit of salt and pepper and the texture of the barley, actually turned out to be pretty damn yummy. Every once in a while, if you chew it just the right way, the carrot flavor becomes really pronounced as well. This actually wasn't that bad. It beat the hell out of that pea soup pudding I had for breakfast. That was not great. Even with salt and pepper, it didn't do anything to kill the blandness of that dish. Oof. But this turned out to be pretty damn enjoyable. The beef really made it. I have said bife, B-I-F-E, instead of bite 3 times in a row. Bife, bife, bife. Let's try this again. So this is the last bite of the pearled barley with beef, or the kasha as you please. That's the last bite going in the old face hole. That beef. Meat is good. And this is a Kazakhstan. It's got great cows, spoon drop. Excellent moo cows over there in Kazakhstan. I forgot all about these damn things. They were just like tray-afflaged. They were just sitting on the tray. I didn't pay any attention to them. I don't have anything to put on them. As bland as that kasha really was, I don't think putting heaps of kasha on top of these would have been a great idea. That is like the punishment. Not even a punishment. This is definitely this is like biscuit punishment right here. If you wanted to give somebody biscuits and just let them know that you didn't like them, and that you give 0 fucks about whether they like their biscuits or not, these are the biscuits you hand over to them. Little doom discs. These things are so fucking boring. It's not even funny. Super bland. Just like suck up all the moisture out of your mouth. Just like a rice cake. If you really like rice cakes, you'd love these things, but they're just super flavorless. But I guess we gotta do it, because actually, I think I'm just stalling for time, because tasting some Stinky Grandma is not exactly on my list of things to do, but I guess it really is, because that's what you signed up for, dumbass. Oh, man. Just a labor of love right here. It's literally like just eating a straight styrofoam. It's horrible. Now that I welded my mouth shut, fucking coffee. Hell yes. Oh, last one. I can do it. I think breaking them into quarters kind of helps. This would probably make a better fire starter than it does a food item. Nice and dry. Probably really easy to catch on fire. Ugh. This is definitely a take it or leave it item. I could absolutely leave it. If I wasn't doing this for all the feels, like, I try to eat everything in a ration if possible. Sometimes I save some drinks and other strange items like that to give away, but I try to make sure I am either at or damn close to the actual calorie count by the end of the day, just to kind of see if I can do it. This, however, this is making me think twice about that method of ration reviews. Oh, just get them in. Oh, yeah. Oh, and there it is. Oh, fuck it. All right, let's rock out with some of that most excellent black tea. And just like the tea we had at breakfast, that is absolutely excellent. Nice and strong. Could use some more honey, if I'm being honest. I guess it's time to take a bite of Dirty Grandma. Wait a minute, we have a toothpick we can look at. Let's look. Let's look at this toothpick real quick, because that's kind of spooky. So it is a nice toothpick made out of wood, pointed on both sides for double dipping your toofers. It's a toothpick, whatever. And now it's time to get a bite of Stinky Grandma, because I don't know what in the fuck they were thinking with that. And it still smells like Dirty Grandma. It's a really hard. So people ask me, what does Dirty Grandma smell like? Dirty Grandma kind of smells like a little bit of perfume and a whole lot of dried body sweat. If you've ever worked outside for a living, like I used to do, you know what dried body sweat smells like, because by the end of a hot summer day, you come home smelling like it. But this kind of smells like that body sweat that's been lingering for 2 or maybe 3 days without a shower. Real homeless people quality type stuff. No offense to the homeless, that shit sucks. I'm just saying, I mean, look, if you're going to pee yourself, just clean it off is all I'm saying. Damn, god damn it. What the hell kind of fruit is this? Dirty Grandma fruit. So I guess there's nothing for it. I just got to shut up and take a bite, right? Yeah. Well, at the very least, it does not taste like Dirty Grandma, which is great. It has a sweet taste of pear and apple. That's the best thing. It's like pears and apples with a little bit of vitamin C kick added to it. Gives a little bit of a tang. It's nice and chewy. It stinks, so do not smell before consuming or you will completely freak out about it like I did. But this is essentially a fruit roll-up that stinks, but it does taste pretty damn good. If I had to throw a scientific wild-ass guess at this to figure out what fruits that were in there, I would definitely guess pears and apples with a little citrus hint added. There certainly could be some other fruits in there, but I am not picking up on it. That second bite had a really, really strong citrus hint to it. I'm just going to go ahead and demolish this fruit leather. It's probably extraordinarily natural, which is why it smells weird, and the stuff that I'm accustomed to eating here in the US as far as fruit leather goes just smells, I don't know, like candy. Maybe natural fruit leather smells like Dirty Grandma. I'm not really sure. It's okay though. We're going to go ahead and eat it because there's not a whole lot of components in this ration and we need every bit of entertainment we can possibly get. So down with a Dirty Grandma fruit roll. And while I'm basking in the Dirty Grandma flavor, we will go ahead and clean up our dirty dick beaters and check out this moist towelette. And that is not very moist at all. It's pretty strong in one direction, really stretchy in the other, just like a lot of the plastic fiber, like fake material towels. Probably not a good idea to wipe your butt with that. You would definitely get some poop through on there. Let's go ahead and give it a sniff. That smells like absolutely nothing, which is a really smart idea. Did get a little bit of sticky bits off of my fingers from the Dirty Grandma roll. So the moist towelette is just kind of okay. Maybe if you saved all of your dinner napkins, you could get one butt wipe together with that. Not really sure. Always got to try to think outside the box, you know? Well, my friends, that was lunch. The kasha wasn't bad. It could really have used some seasoning. With the quality of that beef in there, if they would have added some decent seasoning to that kasha, it would have absolutely been off the hook. High fat content, great texture, not only on the beef, but also the barley. Carrots were just kind of hanging out in there for some color and maybe a little bit of flavor every once in a while. If this were seasoned ahead of time, it would have absolutely been rocking. Thank goodness for the salt and pepper. Those biscuits are the bane of my existence. They suck. That grandma fruit roll turned out to be pretty tasty, but it smelled like ass. Coffee and tea were amazing. I will see you at dinner time. Hello, my friends. So we're keeping the ration train rolling. Welcome back to dinner. I've already got the main heating up in that FRH, which you can see it steaming out right here. Steamy. And I really wasn't in the mood for another cup of coffee and tea, so what I'm going to do is keep the coffee, the tea, the cream, the sugar, and the honey, and that's going to the next ration giveaway winner. So I'm going to hold off on this stuff. We're just going to have some of nature's awesome goodness. We're going to have some water with dinner. Imagine that. And we're going to have that chicken pilaf, which is still heating up here. We're going to have these milk balls or dairy balls or whatever the hell is in this little container. And we've got that boring ass bread. It's actually called bread on the packaging. It says something to the effect of, you know, life is better when you have bread. That's not really bread. It's some kind of weird cracker thing. I almost don't even want to open them. I just want to send them out to somebody so they can try them too and see how pretty goddamn horrible and bland they are. I guess we'll eat them up with it. But that chicken pilaf should absolutely be done. So here we go, fetching this thing. And I tell you what, all of the FRHs worked really well. This one in particular, it got to a point where I put my hand on the opposite side of the packaging from the actual element. And man, that thing was super, super hot. So these FRHs are of high quality and work really well. And that retort pouch is roaring hot. It is absolutely crazy hot, so that is great. I'm really hoping the chicken pilaf has some damn seasoning in it. This ration really has been a relatively bland experience. Not highly recommended on the list of rations I would recommend you spend your hard-earned money on, but hey, we're going to try them all here on this channel no matter what. That is actually really interesting looking. Take a look at that pilaf action. Actually looks pretty good. It smells pretty decent. It has a rice pilaf smell. I just hope they bothered to put some seasoning in there because that ought to be excellent if they did. Look at that big old chunk of chicken in the bottom. That's excellent. Let's get it all out of there. And this is a 350 gram portion, as you can see by the big lump of food on the tray. And I guess, god damn it. This stuff really is just like a kick in the goddamn teeth. They really should not have put these bland-ass things in this ration. These do not make for a great side item with anything. So let's start breaking down this rice pilaf. We have some nice long grain, which looks like jasmine rice to me. We have some small beans in there. That's very interesting. That looks like, I don't know if that looks like a raisin, maybe a piece of mushroom or something. I'm not really sure exactly what that is, but it's dark. It's almost black. It looks like a hunk of mushroom. That's pretty cool. We have some obligatory carrots. You knew there were going to be carrots in there. I'm not seeing much else. So it looks like we have chickpeas. So we have some chickpeas. I really do like me some chickpeas. We have some mushroom pieces. We have carrots. Lots of rice. I don't see anything else. And then we have this big old chunk of chicken chilling over here. So that's actually some pretty decent looking quality chicken. Not too bad. Doesn't look like it's overly processed. Probably just a hunk of raw chicken was chucked in here when they were putting it in the retort pouch. So let's go for it rice first, kind of like we did the pearl, barley, and beef earlier. So let's not drop it on our face this time. Let's bring that up to you guys so you can see that chicken and rice. Damn it. Chicken pilaf. God damn it. Whew, it has been one hell of a day, guys. A boring ration and lots of other shit to do. Didn't make for the best ration day ever. This ration is kind of giving me a little bit of a rash. I was expecting and hoping for better, but here we go with the first bite of that chicken pilaf. Now that at least is seasoned pretty well. It almost has a little bit of a citrus undertone to it. That's okay. I'm completely into it. It has some flavor. A little bit on the salty side, a little bit of a citrus undertone. For some reason or the other, these pieces of carrots that are in here actually impart a little bit of sweetness to this. When you start chewing up the carrot, you get a tiny hit of sweet, which is actually really nice. I did not, however, get a bite of the chickpeas in there. So let's get some bean action going on. Those chickpeas are good. They are, however, just slightly undercooked. If somehow these chickpeas were cooked just a little less in here, they might not be edible. They're just a little bit on the crunchy side. That's okay. I'm a big fan of chickpeas. Could have been a little bit more cooked, but I'm not going to complain too much. Let's go ahead and get a bite of the bird here. Let's have it with a little bit of rice. Let's bring that up to you guys so you can see this hopefully high quality chicken bite I'm about to embark upon. And let's roll with some of that chicken. I mean, wow. Seriously, it is really sad, absolutely sad, that chicken, no bullshit, literally tastes like what chicken should taste like. It tastes like chicken tasted when I was a kid. The chicken that you get in the store nowadays is so processed, so chemical laden, it just doesn't taste like chicken anymore. If you don't have barbecue sauce to dip it in or something to fry it in, like a batter or breading, it just doesn't taste great. That chicken, standalone by itself, is absolutely amazing. It makes me wonder what the hell we're doing here in the United States that chicken doesn't taste right anymore. But if I get some chicken from Kazakhstan, it tastes exactly like chicken should. My only complaint with this is kind of like the last meal, is there's just not enough chicken in here. Very small portion of chicken. The beans are helping to bring a little bit of protein back to the table, but there certainly could be a whole lot more chicken in here. Put more chicken in the retort pouch, please. I'm going to taste this yummy ass chicken just pretty much all by itself. And that chicken is not overly dry, has an excellent texture, and amazing savory real chicken flavor. That is off the hook. This main is not bland. It is seasoned well. I am a big fan of black pepper though, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of salt and all the pepper, please, because a little bit of hotness is always good. And I really just like the taste of black pepper. I think it will accentuate the flavors that are here really well. And a little bit of that salt. And we'll mix that up, and I'm going to try to chop up this chicken in smaller pieces to get more chicken in different bites. Not that this dish particularly needs it, because this pilaf is actually pretty damn decent on its own. It could just use more of this really excellent, probably extraordinarily naturally raised, naturally harvested chicken. This is pretty damn amazing. I really wish I could go to a regular grocery store and pick up a chicken, cook it, and it actually tastes like that here in the States. It just doesn't happen. You have to go to a farm or a local butcher that gets all their meat from a local farm to get this kind of quality chicken anymore here in the United States, which is a damn shame. This meal is really satisfying, I have to say. Certainly the best meal of the day. That beef was amazing, but the barley around it was really boring. Good, but really boring. This, however, absolutely has some flavor. Let's check it out with that salt and pepper. Oh yeah, that's where it's at. Just a little bit of salt helps to accentuate the sweetness of the carrots. The pepper, it's black pepper. It tastes like black pepper. It goes really well with this dish. That little bit of citrus aftertaste that this has is actually pretty damn amazing. This is not a labor of love. This is yummy. That is potentially going in the trash. We're not sure yet, but this is yummy as hell. I really can't get over how excellent that chicken is. And this rice pilaf is actually banging. We've got a little bit of wild rice in here. This has a great texture and excellent chew. The beans could be a little bit more tender, but honestly, it doesn't even matter. This is really tasty. I'm really enjoying this. I'm not even really losing my appetite for it as it starts to lose a little bit of temperature. It remains the same. Doesn't have that weird greasy mouthfeel. This chicken pilaf is a total win. I really hate to do this, but I guess we should see. I hate to waste a single bite of this main on this bland ass styrofoam biscuit thing, but I'm going to try it anyway just to see if scooping up some of this main on this biscuit is the way to get these biscuits down. I tell you what, putting down those 3 biscuits at lunchtime was actually pretty difficult. They dried the mouth out. The flavor is like almost non-existent. The texture is like styrofoam basically. It's a pretty hard ask to put those down, especially with nothing to help. Let's see if a scoop of the main will do it, or if I'm just losing an opportunity at one more bite of a really good main. I suppose that would be the way to do it. I probably should have had 2 packs of these with the pea soup and just threw them all in there and made it one big messy blob. But all that really did was help get this down. It killed the flavor of the main, which really sucks because that main is really yummy. And I wouldn't want to kill the flavor of a really good main just to get these biscuits down. I guess if you were starving enough, you'd eat them. Or if you just wanted something to chew on while you were walking around that was really bland and flavorless and was going to make you not want to eat, that would definitely be the thing. I just can't get over the fact that these are pretty damn horrible as far as a ration bread item or cracker, biscuit, whatever. These little discs of doom are certainly not for this ration nerd. Probably not for you guys either, unless you just love rice cakes. Even more bland than a regular, unflavored, unsalted rice cake. Oh, now that mess is over, let's get back into this main. I am not wasting another bite of this really yummy chicken pilaf trying to get more of that styrofoam down my neck. The sweetness from those carrots and that little citrus hit at the end absolutely make this amazing. And I had no clue that this was going to be this good. I just saved the chicken pilaf for last because I figured yet another kasha for dinner would be boring. So I saved the item that seemed like it would be more interesting, or at least that everybody hasn't seen a whole bunch of times for dinner. And it turned out to be absolutely the best meal of the day. For those of you out there that are always interested in me making a mess out of myself, so let me explain this. So essentially, the spoon is going towards my face, okay? Some of it, a little bit of it drips out, or dribbles out, falls out, hits my fucking goatee. I put my hand down to catch it. As I'm pulling the spoon away from my face, I'm like smacking the rice, and literally a piece of the rice went up my fucking nose. I don't know how this happens. It went up my nose, and then it fell right out of my nose. Thankfully, it's not still lodged up in there, but I just don't know how I managed to pull this kind of crazy shit off. Maybe I should really do a face cam so you guys can see this stuff. That would have absolutely been a great slow-mo, like the grain of rice bouncing up off my hand, going up in my nose hole, and then falling out. I could have slow-moed the shit out of that. Maybe I'm really missing the boat not doing a face cam. But if you can't have fun with your own mess, and whose mess can you have fun with? This has been a really satisfying main. Right down to it. We got the last bite of that chicken pilaf going in the face, and I'm sad to see it go. That was a really good filling main at 350 grams. Chicken was excellent. Seasoning in this main actually existed, so it's pretty great. Just a little bit of salt and pepper tuned it right up. That was good. Especially after all the other bland shit I have sucked down today. This was like a little light at the end of that tunnel. And there it is, the last bite going in this face hole of that chicken pilaf. That is a hell yeah Kazakhstan chicken pilaf spoon drop. And these guys, I'm just really tired of all the bland shit I've been eating out of this all day. I'm not eating any more of them. That's it. These are pretty damn worthless. If you grew up on these, maybe these would be welcoming to you. And I'm sorry Like, I'm really sorry that you had to grow up on these things. Maybe if they were flavored, they'd be okay. If they were sweet, they might be all right. These are just really bland, really boring, a lot like styrofoam. They're not even as good as crisp bread. Crisp breads have a much more pleasant flavor. These, absolutely flavorless. Let's get into these milk balls. Before that, we're going to use some of nature's wonder juice called water and hydrate ourselves and wash that peel off out of my mouth to get a nice read on these milky balls. Now let's check out these milk balls. I tried to hit this with a translator so many times, and it just won't deal with the fact that the packaging is a little shiny and it's vacuumed down to these little balls and it makes the words go all wonky. If for some reason you guys know what these are, please leave me a comment and let me know what I'm about to put in my face, even though by the time you're seeing this, it's already been done. So hopefully it's not something super disgusting. But let's check out some milk balls from Kazakhstan. Let's give them a sniff. That smells the way that rotten milk smells when you've left the milk in the fridge for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks longer than it really should have if you're not a big milk drinker and you're like, oh, let me have some milk with these cookies. That smells like sour milk. That is really uninviting. It smells like sour milk. It doesn't smell great in any way, shape, or form. Let's get Damn it, I was hoping this was going to be like a sweet, milky treat at the end of the ration, and I was going to be all happy about these little balls. That's why I saved them for last, but maybe not. These things smell like ass. This is bad. I don't know. Maybe they could have gone rancid, I suppose. It is a dairy item, but let's just bring that up to you so you can take a look at it. I mean, it looks pretty innocuous, right? Like, it's just a little white ball of something, but it smells like ass. I'm going to try to get a nibble of it. We're going to see what the texture is like and see if it just, I don't know, makes my face want to jump off. Oh, we'll just get a bite. Ew. Like, ugh. Oh, fuck you guys. What the fuck is that? Like, ugh. God damn. Wait, maybe maybe they're supposed to go with these fucking biscuits. God, it's so fucking horrible. Give me some more of that. That's what these are for. Shit. Why? Just absolutely fucking why? I don't understand any culture in any way, shape, or form thinking that a little ball that tastes like salty, spoiled milk, and that is exactly what it tastes like. It actually gets worse. It smells like ass. It smells like rotten milk. Then when you get it in your mouth, I'm so very happy that I only took a bite of that. When you get it in your mouth, it really starts to like break down, like absorb the moisture in your mouth, and then you get a really salty hit. Right after that salt, you get the sour milk taste. Your mouth immediately begins to salivate like crazy. Like all that saltiness and that sour milk flavor, almost like the way you salivate before you vomit. Yeah, really bad. Thankfully, these little flavorless bitches were around to absorb that flavor, and they really did kind of absorb that flavor, which was great. That is a hideous item. It stinks. It tastes like salt and sour milk. Maybe if you like that taste, it's all about you, boo. But no more of that is going in my face. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do when I'm finished this video, I'm going to put each one of these into a separate Ziploc bag. And if you want one, leave me a comment, go to the channel email, send me your address, and I'll mail you one of these sons of bitches, because I want everybody to have some sour, salty milk balls with this guy. I'm not mailing you that one because I took a bite out of it, but I will put these in individual Ziploc bags, and you can totally fucking have one if you want to have this rotten experience with me. That was absolutely horrible. I was hoping for a yummy little sweet treat at the end of the day. Guess what I got? I got shit on. That's what I got. I'll talk to you guys in the wrap up. What the absolute fuck? So thank you guys for joining me here on Ration Nerd, where today we got into this civilian ration from Kazakhstan. This was an experience, to say the least. It says gourmet. I fucking disagree. It says the camp MRE and ration. Well, it's certainly that. It also says it has 3,000 calories in it, considering the calorie information was not listed on the individual retort pouches. I actually can't confirm nor deny that this actually had 3,200 calories in it. I was kind of disappointed with this. There were certain things I really liked about it. The retort pouches were made out of a really tough material. That was great. Having 3 sets of flatware that had your coffee, cream, sugar, and some honey in there was absolutely banging. That was a great idea. The flatware itself, the spoons, were actually pretty decent, but you're not going to win me over just with a good spoon. The crackers that came with this suck the cock. The soup was nasty. The lunch main was actually right on the wrong side of good. If it had some seasoning in it, if they had taken the time to put some seasoning in there, it would have actually been really rocking. Or just put 2 or 3 times the amount of beef in there and it would have been absolutely banging. Grandma's fruit snack was a little bit on the weird side, but turned out to be pretty decent. That dinner main though, that chicken pilaf was absolutely banging. Unfortunately, we got the milk balls of doom with that thing, and those are still up for offer. I have 5 of them that could be yours, and all you gotta do is send me an address, homie, and I'll mail that shit out to you. Why? Because I just want somebody else to experience that nasty shit with me, and you can get right back online and talk to me about it. That would be absolutely excellent. So maybe if you're in Kazakhstan and you like sour, salty milk, those little balls of doom would have been great for you, but for this guy, that was absolutely a non-fucking starter. Those things are super filthy, but this was a lot of fun, and I did get kind of filthy during it. I even got some rice pilaf up my nose, and I don't just mean a little bit up my nose, I mean like, you know, like that deep. Like it really got in there, bypassed the nose hair, and just kind of like punched me in the nose and then fell right out. It was really crazy. That shit's epic. And if you like rice up your nose, you know what you could do for this guy? You could absolutely hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, and you could talk to me in the chat. It's always a great time to hear from you guys. And there's also other ways to support the channel. I do have merch out there. You could pick up some merch. That would be really cool of you. You could get a badass Ration Nerd hat or a hoodie or a shirt. There might even be something on there where you can have Ration Nerd on your butt. That would absolutely be excellent. But this is that point in the video where I say the magic words, and if you don't know what the magic words are, I'm about to tell you. If you can find something cooler than this ration from Kazakhstan, this Say Hat Gourmet, absolutely yummy, with the sour nasty milk balls to put in your face hole, you absolutely know what to do. And if you don't, I'm gonna tell you, eat them up.
my man, he said, baby, suck on my salty milky balls. Put them in your mouth, and suck them and suck them. Man, I don't even know what is going on with this guy sometimes. I swear, like the shit that we don't get into, man, like the shit that this guy will put in his mouth sometimes really does just kind of make me wonder about this motherfucker. Like, I'm not really sure what planet he on sometimes. Like, I just got a case of the goofies, man. Like, I was just sitting here, I was on the sidelines watching this motherfucker, and I was like, he ain't gonna put that shit in his mouth. Tell me he not. That looked like a ball of cow jizz. He about to stick that in his face, and then sure as shit, he put it in his mouth. You should have seen the look on that motherfucker's face. He was like, oh shit, I done stuck something in my mouth that's like super nasty, and like he wanted to spit it out, but at the same time he knew it was gonna be worse, because like if you spit something like that out, it's gonna look like jizz, and then everybody gonna be like, damn, Ration Nerd done spit the jizz. And if you know how it is, if you swallow, you good. If you a spitter, you a quitter, and nobody want to hear that shit. Like, Ration Nerd don't want to be known as a quitter, so he just sucked that shit down like a trooper, started stuffing them styrofoam crackers in his face. I was over here laughing my ass off. Sling Ration be having a good time watching Ration Nerd suffer. I don't even know, man. It's almost like I've been sucking on that giggle juice already, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, though. But some days being Sling Ration ain't so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, some days I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm Sling Ration and not Ration Nerd, because that motherfucker got it hard today. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. This is Sling Ration, and I'm out.